And now joining us out of Bristol for more on the story is Tony Gosling, investigative journalist. Hello, Tony. Hope you're safe and well out there. So basically, we're still where we were at yesterday, Tony. That's basically Iran saying that, we don't want to do this whole step-by-step thing with you guys. You take us back to exactly 5 minutes before Donald Trump signed that executive order, causing, in respect, Washington opt out of the JCPOA, and we'll go back to exactly where we were, where we stayed even a year after that signature. How does that sound? Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, what they're trying to do is renegotiate the deal. They're not saying that, but that's actually what's happening in fact. And the question is, are they, as Putin, this is this great phrase from the Russian President Vladimir Putin, are they deal ready? This is a phrase he came up with a few years ago after talking to the Americans and finding that you could sit at the table with them for weeks and months and still, even if they did sign a deal, they wouldn't stick to it. So is there any point in doing a deal? This is the problem now, of course, for the vast majority of the world's population. Everybody wants to see a deal, but there's a few elite who are in very powerful positions, particularly here in the West, who don't want a deal. And so when we're talking here about France, we're not talking about the French people, we're talking about the personality of Macron himself. And really, literally nobody else in France, apart from a few hangers-on and people in the arms business that want to tear up this deal as Donald Trump did, and they are trying, I think, to make out as if they want to do it, but they don't really. And so that's the problem we're facing here. All this, by the way, is really for Israel. It's the Israelis who've got 200 plus nuclear weapons and are concerned about Iran having some kind of any kind of nuclear capability at all, in fact. And so what you've got really here is the Israel lobby in the central areas of power in the West, making sure that Western leaders do their bidding. Look, just have a look at France right now. Remember, we had the Yellow Vests insurrection a few years ago. That's all stopped with COVID-19. It's a great way to put them down. We've got 7 p.m. curfews in France now. You have to fill in a form if you want to leave your front door in France. Basically, it's a police state. So it's not surprising that what Macron is doing and saying in terms of diplomacy around the world has nothing to do with what the French people really want.
Right, Tony, but I'm sure you very well remember it was Macron, one of the first world leaders who actually blasted out at the Trump administration. He wanted to talk to Donald Trump personally about leaving the JCPOA back then. So why is he the one now directing all of his animus towards Tehran?
Well, it's exactly the same as Joe Biden. Biden, in his election campaign, was also saying, we want to rejoin the deal. Now he's saying, oh, well, Iran has got to jump through various hoops before we'll sit down and talk about rejoining the deal. So he's completely shifted the goalposts, exactly as Macron did. I think really with many of the particularly European leaders, it's literally words, nothing more. And these words are for the domestic population to reassure them that their leaders are not maniacs. I'm afraid what we're seeing in the actual results of what the leaders are doing once in power, and now, of course, we're in the situation where Macron could make some very important moves, really separating out the European policy from the US policy. But actually, it shows me that he's beholden to the same financial elite, the Western financial elite, the transatlantic Bilderberg financial elite that Biden is. And these people are not acting independently. They're really just agents for an international financial war party based here in the West that actually wants to see tension and conflict in the Middle East because it believes it can grab resources as a result, and also it can make money from war. That's the problem. Nobody wants war except those that make money from it, and they do.
Thank you, Tony. It's always a pleasure to pick your brain on things like this, especially this. Joining us out of Bristol. Stay safe, but thank you. Is Tony Gosling there, investigative journalist, joining us.